Is this part of it? I don't know what is or isn't a choice part of the game. I think I played once or twice. This seems a little intrusive. What's it to you? Wait for it. I want to be exact, so I'm going to wait. You ever notice time moves slowly when you're watching it? All right, I'm going to turn away. Huh? Come on, I gave you a chance to change. It never wants to change in front of your eyes. Ah, it did it. It did the thing. I'm ready, you do the work.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, you want me to? I thought the whole thing here is that I'm free to do whatever I want to do. For once. I see I've already done half of what you want, but maybe that was my own choice. I'm gonna have to play as much of this game in the menus and in this spot as possible. A new game hasn't come out, it feels like, in a long time that's been worth playing. So we have to milk this one for all it's worth. This is like me, but with YouTube videos. I'm just sitting in front of my computer, making YouTube videos. And for what reason, really? Needless to say, Stanley's confused. What's out here? I'm only coming out here to my own curiosity.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, I'll find a trace. Watch, see this? Number 1 dad. As a father, his kid is out of school. Okay, that's a little weird. Quirky Quinn over here in the corner. Bringing the mug. I'm reporting you to HR. This guy's... Everyone knows farted is a no-no word. You're supposed to say toot. What? What keyboard am I... What am I, every esports streamer out there? Loudest mechanical keyboard ever. Sounds like it's coming from everywhere. You take off your headset just to see if he's behind you. Like, what's going on? Mine's built into my wiener. I can do it whenever I want. I have a mechanical wiener.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I have to? Maybe that's what I gotta do. Just follow orders, like a sheep. Instead of trying to do something different, play something different, just stick to one thing. Become a React channel. I'll do it. He said left, right? See, I can't even remember the instructions. I'm perfect for a React channel. You don't have to think.
Yet there was not a single person here.
Jump scare.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whiteboard manager? How do you get that job? Does it pay well? I'm looking for a job that pays well. I'll do almost anything, except for scam caller in India. That is one job. I will draw the line. I will sell my body on OnlyFans, but I will not be a scam caller in India, I tell you what. You know what, I'm not getting paid enough to read any of this. I'm also not getting paid enough to listen to the narrator, apparently, because what did he say? I'm honestly not really getting paid. More so just wasting my time.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh, you are lying to me. Something's here. I can tell a liar when I hear or smell a lie.
There was nothing here. No choice
All
to
right,
make.
before your
no path
pants
to
light on
follow,
fire, I'll
just
just
an
get out of
empty
here.
broom closet.
Yeah,
Coming
yeah,
to
yeah.
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I have to report that guy for his mug. I forgot. Thank you for putting me back on track. I get a little sidetracked sometimes, if you can't tell. If you're one of the few people who are always here, I appreciate you. Which way is my boss's office? Oh, no, I don't want to speak to the secretary. I'm just going to go straight to it. Oh. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. So that's why he doesn't need a union. I'm as confused as my YouTube path. Should I even continue? What am I doing? Maybe I just start uploading like hour-and-a-half long unedited playthroughs. Well, that seems to get more views for some people. I don't have to deal with the secretary. I am the secretary. Hello. Hello. Welcome. I was going to do a Valley Girl voice, but then I thought, I might get I was going to say, you know what? Maybe I will say words that get me canceled.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Dude, -1. I'm trying to get into the RP, okay? GTA RP. Anyone know someone who knows someone who could get me? I'm making a negotiation here.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
No, because I
Amazing.
metagamed.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Trying not to be a metagamer. But you're dragging me down with you. I'll be sending this clip to the admins. Hello? I mean, it seems like the generic way that people would go, so let's just be generic. Doing things different, doing anything outside of the ordinary. Even making original content is just cringe.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
True.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
All right, good. I'm looking for the answer. I'm looking for the answer as to why I keep going. What is the point? Why
Stanley
are we
walked
all
straight
here?
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Call extension 914 immediately if light. I don't want to go all the way back up to my office. This is like that scene from Family Guy, and I'm not... Fine, I'll go call 914. I'm trying to figure out the answer.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
Yeah, I have to make that call.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well,
that's where the
a
phone
great
is.
question. I just can't wait to find out.
You know what? You're going to learn that I do a lot of weird things in life, and none of it makes sense, even to me. That's why I'm asking you for answers to life's questions. But I gotta call extension 9... Oh, wait, this isn't a phone.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Yes, I'm looking for the phone.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
Okay.
It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I told you I was looking for the answer, but you don't have to be so blunt about it. Fine, I'll just start playing Rust. Become a Rust movie streamer.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I've lost my will to think for myself, so I'd rather have someone think for me. Where do I sign up? Do I sign my life away here? Scribble, scribble.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know, man. I just told you I wanted someone else to think for me. You're supposed to tell me, not ask. What is this? Cameras, lights,
now
action?
The monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Ooh, that guy got
Each
fired.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Urgent employees should never, under any circumstances, attempt something. Attempt to listen to the voices in their head? Do we have another inappropriate mug? I hate Mondays. All right, Garfield. They probably think they came up with that phrase themselves, too. They're like, isn't it quirky? I came up with it myself. I made a bunch of mugs, gave them away on Christmas. It was great. Everyone loved them.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Look, man, you're gonna make... Is this gonna be my last video? If I quit, it's this guy's fault. Like...
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
You can only be one of two things after playing this. You either quit, or you become a React channel. Those are the only... I'm getting pushed to the edge here. I was already thinking it.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Why am I getting hit with a massive wave of deja vu? Did I boot up the right game? Did I buy the right game? Isn't it kind of counterproductive to hire an employee to control another employee? Can I like push a few buttons and see what happens? Oh, hold on. We make a song. No, you missed. No. There you go. Okay, no, these clicks are not necessary here. Okay, you know what? I never wanted to make this. I never was good at music, you know. I never wanted to make a song anyways. You'll never see any of that on this channel, that's for sure. Foreshadowing. Gosh, I'm like a Stanley game in real life.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Keep posting videos. Don't keep posting videos. Keep posting videos. Don't keep posting videos. I could even just create a whole new channel, not tell anyone, disappear. Maybe some of you will find me. Maybe you won't. Maybe you don't care. I'm gonna have to sit and think about this. Okay, why am I sitting on the floor? There's a chair right there. I'm done.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Please be over.
Yes. He had won.
I'm free.
He had defeated the machine.
I feel a weight
Unshackled
lifted.
himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
I don't have to spend hours on hours making videos
Even as the
anymore.
immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
No one cares anyway.
Where had his co-workers gone?
I don't care.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
I don't
What
care.
other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I don't care.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Does sound kind of nice. I don't think I'll be missed anyway. Let's do it.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So is this life without YouTube now? Life without the voice? I mean, isn't it weird that I had a voice in the first place in my head? Nobody ever really addressed that. You're trying to ghost of Christmas past me here and show me why I shouldn't have quit? I don't know, I'm a free-thinking man now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey, why you care now? Huh? You didn't care a second ago when I got here to introduce yourself? Or say hello? Don't you be trying to act like you care now. I'm just here to explore. I don't care what you say. Strong, independently minded. Oh, now you've just created a paradox here. Is that what it's called? Certainly not an oxymoron. I'm certainly not an... Now if I go left, I'm just a conforming sheep. Just doing what everyone else told. Going with the flow. And if I go to the right, oh, I'm just such a rebel. Which everyone's just... There's probably more people that are doing this. So no matter which choice I choose, other than going back, which you've kindly closed, thank you for that, I'm just part of the problem. Repeating history. That's not it. Why? Me. Okay. 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 If I was something new in the Stanley Parable, where would I be? Because we're not just trying to play this whole game over again. We've experienced some of this at some point a long time ago. Barely remember it.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all.
You know what?
He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything.
Yep, that's exactly what I think. I don't know why you think I would respect you as a human being when you don't respect me.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
I
office.
like this. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I will not be bullied by you anymore. I will not be abused. I will not be told what I am
But
and what
Stanley
I'm
just
not.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
I was so close to the exit.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Huh?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
You mean I lost my...
She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.